Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanjakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhuvya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, dear Prabhujis, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 3rd Karma Yoga, and we are going to read the 18th verse. So Lord Shri Krishna, he continues his instructions on Karma Yoga and he says to Arjun ji, नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो न अकृत नेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः. नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो न अकृत नेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः. नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो न अकृत नेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः. Na, never, eva, certainly, tasya, his, kritena, by discharge of duty, artha, purpose, na, nor, akritenaha, without discharge of duty, iha, in this world, kashan, whatever, na, never, cha, and, asya, of him, sarvabhuteshu, in all living beings, kashid, any, artha, purpose, vyapashrayaha, taking shelter of. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, neva tasya kritena artho, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, na akrit neha kaschan, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. Na chasya sarvabhuteshu kaschid vyapashrayah. So in the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada writes, a self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duty, save and accept activities in Krishna Consciousness. Krishna Consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in the following verses. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in discharge of his obligation. So very beautiful verse. In the previous verse, Lord Shri Krishna explained that a person who is satisfied in the self alone, a person who is fully satisfied in the self alone, who rejoices in the self, who is self-illumined, for him there is no duty in this world. Na tasya karyam na vidyate. So for him there is no duty in this world. And now Lord Shri Krishna is further explaining, Neva tasya kritena artho, he do not have any purpose, arthaha, in performing his prescribed duties. Neva tasya kritena artho na akrit neha iha, in this world, na akrit neha kaschan, nor does he have any reason not to perform his prescribed duties. Nachasya sarvabhuteshu, all living entities. So he is not obliged to any living entity. He is not even obliged to the demigods. Nachasya sarvabhuteshu kaschid arthvyapashrayah, and he do not have any purpose to be fulfilled, or he is not in need of anything from anybody, even from the demigods. Hence he do not take shelter. There is no need for him to take shelter of any living being, either man or demigod in this world. So in the previous purport also Lord Shri Krishna explained that a self-realized man is fully confident about his eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and hence he is always busy in execution of his duties for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is self-illumined, he is in communion with the Supreme Lord, and he gets direction for his duties in Krishna consciousness from the heart, from the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly, and hence he is not obliged to perform his prescribed duties. So self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties. Nevatasya kritena artho. Kritena arthaha. He do not have any purpose. So self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work. Na kritaneha kashan. So he do not have any reason in that sense. If he wish, he can perform his prescribed duties, and Lord Shri Krishna will further explain in the forthcoming verses. He himself, Lord Shri Krishna, is motivating Arjunji to perform his prescribed duties, Swadharma, without attachment. In the next verse itself, Lord Shri Krishna will explain that because a self-realized man has no purpose, he is not in need of anything, he is completely satisfied in the self and the super self. He is very confident about his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he only wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So a self-realized man, can also perform his prescribed duties just to set example for the common man. In the forthcoming verses, Lord Shri Krishna will motivate Arjunji to perform his prescribed duties just to set example for the common man. And if one perform his duties without attachment to the results, everybody in this material world, we are very, very much attached to fruitive activities, and we engage in fruitive activities, or we perform our duties with a motive to get good results for our own self. But a self-realized man is no longer interested in results of his action, and hence he can also perform his prescribed duties just to set examples for others without attachment. And in the next verse itself, Lord Shri Krishna will be explaining that if one work without attachment, then one can attain the Supreme. So that is the way to attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that this science is known as Karma Yoga. If one perform his prescribed duties only for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without attachment to the results of the work, then one can attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work. Nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. Nacha asya sarva bhuteshu kasyad artha vipashraya. Because he is not in need of any material thing. All his material desires are satisfied because of his devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and hence he is not obliged to any man or to any demigod. So in the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada explained that a self-realized man is not obliged to perform his prescribed duties, but Krishna consciousness, Swami Srila Prabhupada explained, is not inactivity. Krishna consciousness is not inactivity. Krishna consciousness is also, a Krishna conscious man is always active. In the previous verses also, Lord Shri Krishna explained that the soul cannot be inactive even for a moment. So a Krishna conscious man is also active, and he is always active, more active than the common man in this material world who are after sense gratification. So a Krishna consciousness man is more active. A Krishna conscious devotee of the Supreme Lord is more active than other people in this world, but he is always active in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is always busy in various activities of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pad Sevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam, to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to re-establish his loving relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna consciousness person is not inactive, And hence Lord Shri Krishna is asking Arjunji in the forthcoming verses. Lord Shri Krishna will ask Arjunji to work without attachment, to perform his prescribed duties as a Kshatriya, perform his prescribed duties just to set example for the others. So in an exemplary way, a Krishna conscious man can act in an exemplary way without attachment to the fruits of the work or without attachment to the fruits of his duties, and can set examples for the others in this material world. So that is the science of Karma Yoga. So self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duty save and except activities in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in the following verses. So Krishna consciousness man does not take shelter of any person, because a Krishna conscious man is not in need of anything. He is fully satisfied in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. In reciprocation, whatever he gets from the Supreme Personality of Godhead as prasada, so he is fully satisfied in that prasada of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and hence he is not obliged to take shelter. Arthvepashrayaha, ashrayaha means shelter. So he does not take shelter of any other living being, not even of demigods in this material world. So a Krishna conscious man, that's why Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing, a Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation. So a Krishna conscious man knows very well, by watering the roots of a tree, one can nourish all the branches, all the leaves of the tree. So Krishna consciousness man is in full knowledge, and hence he just tries to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, knowing well that everybody is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied from him, then automatically all living entities, all demigods will automatically be satisfied with that person, and hence whatever service he performs in Krishna consciousness, that is enough. Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing, whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation. So he is not obliged to anyone, but by serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by serving the Supreme Lord, a Krishna conscious man does the best service to everyone who is related with him. So, very wonderful verse. Neva tasya kritanartho na eva tasya kritenartho na eva, never eva, certainly tasya his kritena, by discharge of duty. Artha, purpose. Neva tasya kritenartho na akritneha kashan. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform. Nor has he any reason not to perform such work. Nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. Na chasya sarva bhuteshu kashyadat artha vipashrayaha. So very beautiful verse. In our next session, we'll try to read and understand the next verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Till then, I would like to stop this session here. Jai Vishnupad Paramhans Parivrajacharya Shtrotra Shat Shri Srimati Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. All glories to His Divine Grace Krishna Kripa Murti Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Lord Shri Krishna. All glories to Bhagavad Gita. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Holy Name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.